Hi all. So today we are going to see everything about information system. So how the information system the thought of bringing the information system into the organization, how that begins, what is the need, how the process goes, and finally when the conclusion comes, how the information system is actually brought or implemented within the organization, what are the challenges faced by managers, and after implementing how its positive impacts, negative impacts are dealt, what are different types of effects. So all those things about the information system we are going to see today. So we are going to see two terms, that is information system and information technology. So we'll see what is the difference and what is the dependency, and then we will try to remove any kind of confusion between these two terms. Okay, so information technology is all kinds of softwares or systems or any kind of artifacts that is involved in making up of information system. For example, networks, people, computers, any kind of hardware, any kind of software, or any other artifact that we are going to come across, which uh, comes into participate and forms an information system. Now what is an information system? Okay, it is simply a set of all these components which are known as information technology. Information system makes use of all these information technology artifacts and try to finish the objective. Now what is the objective is try to sense the environment, or wait or listen to the request, and then try to respond to it accordingly, like to do some physical action or to provide any kind of response. So information system is all about collecting information and analyzing, responding, making the others to do something based on the environment, a requirement or the demand. Okay, so that is all what information system and information technology means. I hope that makes sense. Okay, next is what is new with information system. So as of now we can see these three terms are very recent in the information system. Not very recent, but comparatively yes. So cloud computing, any hardware, any software, any platform, any IDE that you want to use is not only so previously in traditionally you used to install it on your system and you used to do it. Now it is not the only way. Okay, now you can simply try to log in or create your account and ask for a software, or you can request for any kind of platforms on the cloud itself. Okay, so it avoids all kind of licensing and all. So it charges you based on the amount or the time that you are spending on the platform, or based on the usage that you are doing. Now we are going to see in depth about cloud computing in the upcoming session, that is information as a system, platform as a system, and a lot of things. Okay, so for now it is just something that we used to have on our software. Now we are going to have it accessed on the cloud. Okay, next on the cloud means on the internet. Next we have big data. So big data is nothing but dealing with huge bunch or huge amount of data, like data coming from data warehouses. Okay, all those logs, and also using that data we are kind of analyzing thing and bringing the sense out of it to make the proper decision. So that is what big data is called. Next we have mobile computing. So mobile computing is not something which is related to mobile only, but it is everything, every device, every computational device which can be portable from one place to other and is used for communicating, for transmitting, or for using any other kind of applications, I say. Okay, so these are some of the recent changes in the information system. So what's new with the MIS means the management information system. So the intention behind the MIS is to collect or gather the data, or to store the logs of the transactions happening, and finally provided the information to the people who requires it for their purpose. Okay, so all these things will be taken care by the MIS. Now there are varieties of MIS based on the nature of the organization, scale at which the organization operates, and many other factors. Okay, now based on all these factors manager will choose what kind of MIS need to be what kind of MIS should be taken up in the system, if it in the organization, if it is not already not there. Okay, so some of the features of the MIS is the online collaborations. So if you see, if I do some changes, I need to give that file to you via USB or any portable devices. So instead of that, if I go with this kind of system, I can share all my changes online itself. So I'm doing some changes in the file, and at the same time if you open that file you can also see the changes. So like that we have other APIs like Google Apps and IBM Lotus Connection and all. So here I am collaborating the changes that I am doing or the communication or anything online itself. Okay, it's not something that I am doing at my system and then I am sharing it to you and then you are able to see. Next is the business intelligence. So this has completely to do with the big data. So whatever data is incoming into the organization, based on that, if in the related context I need to do some decision making, it is giving me all kind of decision or reports or charts, graphs, all kind of such kind of things it is doing and giving it to me. Then we have virtual meeting. So instead of meeting physically, we are using tools like video conferencing, web conferencing, using various platforms like Zoom. Okay. Next we have social business. So it's all about the marketing or making use of the social platforms to improve or increase the leads for your business. Next is the telework. So all the softwares, all the tools and all the services that is provided for the employees to remotely log in. Okay, it's not that you need to be in the premises of the organization to access some of the services. It's not like that. So all the services which are helping us to remotely log in and use all the services of the organization will come under the telework. Next is the co-creation of business value. So it again depends on you're providing some service. Okay, if customer is using that service, again he will need one more alternate service, so that also I am going to provide. So that is nothing but co-creation of business value. Next we have modern types of organization. Okay, I mean types of modern organization. So here we'll be seeing IT enabled, network, dispersed, knowledge organization. So what are all these organization is meant? Okay, so first is our IT enabled organization. So what is IT enabled organization? It simply means that whatever the process or whatever the daily routine that is happening in the organization, it makes use of the information technology to do or to be done with that work. Okay, so it's simply making use of the information technology, indirectly saying it makes use of the information system in its daily routine. So that means IT enabled organization. So here it's like has members who are engaged in activities for common purposes. Organization may have many purposes. Organization collected of people with shared goals. So it's like if when manager is taking decision like, okay, this is the information technology that I need to bring into the organization. So the prerequisite of that is when you are investing something in bringing some kind of IT into the organization, there should be like if you're investing 10%, you should get at least 11 or 12%. Okay, so that's the intention behind it. So not only in terms of monetary, but in terms of efforts, in terms of time kept, in terms of values, in terms of human mistakes that's it avoid. So it's not only about the automation, but it's also about the change that it could bring or the efficiency that it could improve. So all that things goes into picture before getting any kind of IT infrastructure to be in the organization. Okay, so it needs to be make sure that it serves many common purposes. It's like the IT should getting voted from the many of the employees, so that it is not for a single purpose, because since you are doing huge amount of investment, it should serve a purpose for many people. Okay, yeah. Next we have networked organization. So for security purpose, what happens is every organization will have its own private I can say topology or private network. Now when suppose my one branch is in country A and the other branch is in country B, so when the country A and country B wants to communicate, again there should be some connection to the internet. Okay, so apart from the private networks and the global networks and the hybrid networks, so there should be this kind of network which should be maintained between the different branches or the sub branch or the parent branch. So these kind of network should be maintained. So when this network is maintained, in the network if we see, each organization will be treated as one of the nodes. Okay, and the organization responsibility as a node is to continuously listen or sense the information that is coming to it, and what is the appropriate action that it needs to take. It needs to respond, it needs to give response to it in terms of message, in terms of initiating any physical activity, in terms of responding it in different formats. Okay, so all the things will be again configured by the employees or by the organization. But if the node is there on the organization, it means it is making use of the incoming request in forms of zeros and ones, and it is responding back to it in some or the other format. So that's what networked organization means. Okay, responding can be formed in any format, Now organizations are linked as a nodes on network. Remaining on network requires session and monitoring accordingly. Fine. Next we have dispersed organization. So a dispersed organization, we can say that in terms of geography, the organization or the branches is distributed to various localities. So there is two reasons for this dispersion. One is to serve the people as quickly as possible, and to do that they need to be as close to people as much possible. So in order to achieve that, they are having branches or sub organization at different parts of the globe. Okay, so that is one of the factor. And the second factor is the availability of raw materials or the other factors of production at lower cost, so as to increase their overall revenue and indirectly the profit. Okay, so one is the availability of raw materials or the factors of production at the lower cost, and the other is to serve the customer as quickly as possible, that is the time factor. Next we have knowledge organization. So here it focuses that okay, if there is any repetitive or manual work, then we have a white blue collar people working on that, that is fine. Okay, but knowledge organization focus on knowledge people. So what is the task or the intention behind focusing on the knowledge people is they continuously try to access and deal with the knowledge information. So whatever the analysis has to be done, whatever the new decisions has to be taken, how the innovations things should be coming into the organization, how the organization should proceed further, because it is like every organization is in a competitive market. So for sure the organization that is today, and after 1 year if it remains same, it is going to be out of the market. So they have to continuously evolve. So all these knowledgeable things will be dealt by the knowledgeable workers. Now because they are dealing with some kind of critical things and they are mentally involved in something, they will be given some flexibility in terms of timings, in terms of power, in terms of organizing or taking decisions. So all that kind of what I can say, uh, the flexibility or the power will be given to knowledge workers. Okay, so those were different kinds of organization that we have seen, four types of organization. Now finally, managing in the internet era. So if we take an example of e-commerce, okay, when the sudden I can say drastic increase of the internet or the boom in the internet happened, it was like if you don't come onto the online platform like e-commerce, your business will be abolished. Okay, so if you want to sustain and continue to stay in the market, you need to bring such a drastic era, such a drastic changes. Okay, so one thing is to sustain, the other is to be on top, be in the leading position. So for that we have something called managing in the internet era. So what all things that they need to do? First thing, they need to have their current customer as a loyal customer. They need to convert their current customer as a loyal customer. They need to gain more leads, in the sense they need to gain more customer. And whatever their product representation or the types of products or the UI or the back end or the security, all if anything of them is getting damaged, then their reputation is going to be damaged. So here we come across new kinds of challenges in terms of security, in terms of availability to the end user, in terms of reliability, in terms of making sure that there is no fraud attempted on their platform. Because if anything happens in the current days, the whole globe gets to know about that. That is one of the reason that reviews are given so much importance. So here when we are talking about information system, so they need to make sure what kind of information systems they are using, what kind of information system their competitors are using. So we are going to see about that in much more detail in a bit. But in order to manage themselves in the internet era, they need to make sure that they continuously evolve. That is the only intention behind managing themselves in the internet era. Now challenges of managing. So as we have seen, one is the security, other is the availability, other is the reliability, other is to provide the final service in order to see whether the customer is unsatisfied, satisfied or delightful. Okay, so those are some challenges. And in specific to managers, okay, in specific to managers, what is the challenges that manager faces in terms of information system, that we are going to cover as a last topic of our today's session. So we now see what is the interaction model. So to understand all the content under the interaction model, let's look onto the graph, the diagram one. Okay, so what this diagram says is, when we talk about the IT interaction model, it the focus is on the interaction thing. Okay, so before getting on all the theoretical content, let's see. Okay, so the box that you are seeing is one organization. Okay, one organization. Now in an organization, in the initiation, they see, okay, what is the requirement, and what is the problem, what is the issue, what is that cause which is making us to think about the information system within the organization. Then they try to build it. Okay, now what is the methodologies, whether they should take a vendor, whether they should consider their own department for building the information system, that decision goes. Okay, then the built information system is used, that is it is introduced within the box, that is in the organization. Now based on the usage, we have different type of impacts, or I can say errors. Okay, so we are going to see about those errors in the content again. Now based on those errors, what kind of actions need to be taken. Okay, so now these actions will be again dependent on the organization, the competition, the strategy, the process and procedures that is happening, the culture, the tradition within the organization, the infrastructure that is available in the organization, and all this is again affected by the external environment. Now the external environment consists of the nature of the market, the competitions in the environment, the demand of the public, the change in the demand of the public. So all that will come under the external environment. And now once all these are fixing, we go on the path of maintenance. So even in the maintenance, we go for the upgradation, replacement, all those things will come into picture. So overall, this is how the information systems comes into the picture of the organization, and then the lifetime is what we have studied now. Okay, so what happens in the IT interaction model? So the first thing is the complexity that one faces in bringing the IT, okay, information technology within the organization. So first thing is the newness, okay, the uniqueness of the information system, because that is completely new than compared to the how the traditionally the people working in the organization have faced. Okay, and the second complexity is, even if you are good, you are habituated to the information system, it is not like the way you are dealing with the information system is going to remain same within the next month, within the next year, it might change. Okay, now the duration differs based on the scale or the type of the organization, but it is going to be changed continuously, it is not static in nature. Now this is going to affect the nature in which the employees work. Okay, so all those things comes under the complexity. Now we see that when we bring in some changes, if you have seen here, okay, we see uses and consequences. Okay, so in the consequences, we see there are some kinds of errors. Okay, so what are those kind of errors, we are going to see in a moment. Next is the information system may impact organization. Yeah, because the work process is changing, many of the processes are automated, and this is is not only automating, but it also brings some changes or addition of the process of the or the eliminating of the existing process in order to bring the efficiencies. Okay, building IS requires a choice to be made. Okay, whether to make, if we want to make means we are taking a decision to make, provided that we have a sufficient skill in the current employees that we are having, or we have a department who can focus on the information system. Otherwise we can go for the choice of vendor. Okay, now here we can see initialization, analysis, all these things is coming into picture. So if you can see here, we have first the initiation, identification of the problem, then we go for the build, then we introduce it to the organization. So this analysis is for the specification of system. So here analysis is for two things. First is the analysis of the issue. Second is when we are say that yes, we have to go for the introduction of the information system. At that time, what kind of services should be there. Okay, what is the rate at which it should serve, what is the speed, what is the accuracy, how much time it should. Okay, so all those in-depth specifications need to be again specified for the building of information system. Okay, so those were the analysis part, and then we have the first order, second order effects. So here if we can see uses and consequences, we have seen, right? So one suppose we have an organization, and in that organization we have implemented one information system. Okay, now as soon as we implement one information system, we will see sudden as soon as we are implementing some information system within the organization, we see some outputs. Okay, so these immediate outputs comes under the first order effects. So whether it is a positive output or the negative output, that is different. Okay, that is a altogether different concept. But here the effect that we see initially, okay, within the same month or within the same week, those things those effect we call it as a first order effect. So increase speed in data processing, increase volume of processing, some of the example. Now apart from the first order effect, if we see some of the what we can say, some of the changes very years later, okay, those are called as second order effects. So here the outputs are not immediately visible but visible after many years. So for example, here I have taken that we have automated the process of hiring. Okay, now because we have automated that process, there is some cost cutting or some cost saving happening. So after 1 year or 2 years, those costs might be given as a bonus or the increment to the existing employees. So that's how we can see, because of bringing this infrastructure within the organization, after some years we can see some of the positive effect on the employees. Okay, so here customer is more satisfied. There is some kind of flaws which are there in the hiring process are removed because of the automation. And apart from that, we have third order effect. So here large scale benefit of using IS, profit gained by organization after implementing. So here if we can see, for suppose organization has used a water saving equipment, so that whenever they're going for washroom, instead of they flushing the water, this is an automated. Okay, so because of this automation, in the long run they are saving huge amount of water. Okay, and if many organizations are using the same, it is not only benefiting the organization but it is also benefiting the society. Okay, so for this appreciation, the government might give them some I can say some relaxation in the tax or some other benefits. So this I can say the third effect, which is a large scale benefit of using an information system. Okay, next we have some effects we are going to see. Okay, so after that we are going to see the challenges that the managers face, which is going to be our last topics. So next is our effects of competitions and organizational traits. So in this we are going to see the competition that is happening among the organization and the competition that is happening within the organization. So this competition within the organization will be considered as an organizational traits. Okay, so let's take a real case scenario. Okay, so when suppose I am an organization, why will I go for information system? Okay, because it is definitely going to give me a good amount of revenue. It is going to automate some of the processes. It is going to eliminate the unnecessary process. It is going to give me a good impact in terms of time, in terms of speed, in terms of accuracy. Okay, so all of these things, why we are doing? Because anyhow I need to give an investment on that, and it might be a successful or an insuccessful result. So the one of the major push that the organization gets to go into the information system usage is because of the competition. Okay, so either it wants to be in the top position in the competition, or either because their competitor is making use of the information system. Okay, so I hope this is why the importance is given into the competition. Okay, so if you are in a competition to some other organization and the other organization is using information system and you are not using it, so after some time you will be not in a competition at all. Okay, that is what we meant by not only the implementation of the information system but also to continuously evolve, upgrade, and not being in a static position. Okay, so here coming to the organizational trait. So when we are talking about the successful of the information system or not, it depends on the organization traits, like the process that goes in the organization, the culture, the tradition with which the current employees work, the skill set, the level of skill set the organization is having. Okay, now coming to this. Okay, when a task is given to you, okay, and if you are competing with the other departments who are given a similar kind of task, that is one of the organization, right, that you compete among the departments and you make up the information system to complete that task. Okay, so that is one of the competition. The second kind of competition is when you all departments come together to complete a task, and so that the task given to you is completed as quickly as possible. So that is one other kind of organization trait. So here overall we see that because of competition, information system comes into picture. And again, the successful or the failure of the information system again depends on the how the competition is behaved, and if you are how the competition is behaved, in the sense how the competition is impacting the information system. Okay, so if it is happening with the resource sharing, or in what place, okay, in what nature and what is the need because of which that information system is brought, and now is that need been is that need is fulfilled by the information system, or is it being negatively affected because of the competition. So that is the effect that we study on the effect of competition on the information system. Next we have effect of organizational structure. So in the traditional way, if we see, we had a strict kind of hierarchy, that is the top position one leader, in the next level we have two leaders, in the third position. That's how the delegation was used to happen. So nowadays what we are seeing is we are following kind of matrix structure. So it is kind of hierarchical structure that we used to follow in the traditional method, but it is, the matrix structure is not a strict hierarchy. Okay, so here I have some people at the adjacent level, and I have people have some next level in the hierarchy, so I can talk to both of them, unlike in the previous strict traditional, where I can talk only to the people who are higher, the next higher level to me. So here one of the example of the information system that I can take to explain the organization structure is, suppose when I call an act fiber for suppose any internet service provider customer care, I will be given to the one of the lowest, or the person who is responsible for directly handling the customer. My contact will be going to them, and based on my complaint query, he will assign it to someone else, or he will be assigning my ticket to someone else queue. And if my problem is resolved, that is fine. Otherwise he will escalate to his higher official, and even if there is an issue, he will escalate to higher official. Finally, after the conclusion, if there is a big amount of refund or any big amount of installation needs to be happen, then the decision will go to his higher official. So that's how the process of moving the ticket from one person to another is automated, and that's how we are following the hierarchy. So that is what we see, the effect of in organization structure on the information system, and the vice versa. Now support for organization. So when we talk about support, it means for every objective, or for every aim, there is a process that is already happening within the organization. Though it is a manual, though it is a repetitive, though it is a time taking, the process is happening. Okay, now we are going for information system, so that those manual or the repetitive things that is happening, that could be automated, and in the process of automating, is there any redundant service that is happening, that could be removed, or is there any service that could be added which could improve the efficiency, that will be added. So all that kind of support will be given to the existing organizational process. For example, we have a system called CRM, which is a customer relationship management, which is like intended to collect the information of all the transaction that is happening, the customer involved in the transaction, and what is the action that needs to be taken, how the response, and what is the deadline. So all the things which are directly related to the customer and maintaining the relations will be taken care by that information system. So that was one of the example of information system. And again, if we see, it is it needs to make sure that when we are bringing some new changes, we cannot be sure that it will work 100% fine. So we need to make sure, even when the information system is coming to support the existing process, the existing process should also be able, or should be able in a situation that if IS is not working fine, the traditional process should also work fine, because until and unless we are good with its final result, we cannot eliminate the existing process. So that's how initially we give the support to the existing traditional organization process, then we try to automate them slow by slow. That's how step by step the replacement or the complete implementation of IS happens. Next we have choosing and implementing of information system. So here, right, here the some terminologies comes which we studied under this diagram, that is initiation. So in the initiation, they identify the problem, they identify the issue, and they see whether any IS is literally required for this or not. Okay, so after that decision is done, then the analysis go in the building part. So here the question is like the method of choosing or implementing information system. So either they should have their own department which could implement this information system, or either they should go for an external vendors. And if they want to go for external vendors, there are many external vendors. So what kind of I can say reputation each vendor is having, what kind of cost they are expecting, or the amount they are expecting, what kind of supportability, how much maintenance are they going to provide us. So we are going to study all the features. So those are some things that need to be considered before choosing any IS, and the way that should be implemented. Again, it needs to make sure that for a single solution, for a single problem we have multiple solution in terms of information system. So here, before implementing, we need to make sure the incoming IS is compatible with the existing process or the nature or the type of I can say scale at which the organization is operating. So all these things will come under the choosing and implementing of information system. So we have studied the types of errors, the effects of various factors on the information system. Okay, now finally we will see that specifically as a manager, when I am trying to do all these things, what are the challenges that I could come across, and this will be our last topic. So first is, what is the information system need to be built. Okay, so here we take whether there is a process which is a very time consuming, which has to be replaced by the information system. So if the solution is literally required, then we go for the information system, that is the new IS. Or we see that competitors are making the information system to get much more profit. The parameter behind saying that information system is helping the competitor is the time parameter, is the revenue parameter. So if they are producing the revenue in the least time, or we can say if they are producing the output in the minimum possible cost or the cost of production, then we can say that IS is helping them. Okay, so because of those factors, the manager have to decide whether they have to get the new IS, and if they don't, what is the impact of that. So all that analysis need to be done. Okay, now next we have how much to spend on information system. So here we completely talk about cost. So for every information system, for sure we have to spend some money. We, in the sense, manager has to spend some money, the organization money, of course. Okay, so first thing, the decision that goes into identifying the budget that has to be spent on the bringing of the information system is known as budgeting decisions. Now this cost spending is again seen, okay, whether we have to give in the installation or on the go or after the completion of this much process. So all that method again goes into the budgeting decision. So like in one methodology, the cost should be sent. So that is one manner. And the second factor is to see what and how the competitors are spending the amount or the money on bringing the information system. Now this information will be publicly available, like every organization will have their, what I can say, monthly magazines, or I can say yearly magazines. So these kind of informations will be available to public as well. Okay, so those are the factors which manager will take care of, how and when and whether the information system should be taken care or not. Okay, and one of the other factor that is considered apart from all this is, if suppose I brought the information system for resolving of this issue, what is the return of that return of investment. Now I am putting 100% into this, whether I'll get 200% or whether I am able to resolve any issues which is worth of 150%. So that return of investment again goes in before doing any kind of budgeting decision. Next we have what level of capability should be created and what information system. So if you can see, we had something called analysis part after the initialization. So analysis here not only about what kind of issue, but also about when we are sure that this is the information system that needs to be built, then what is the specification. Okay, so whether that information system is for all the departments of the organization or any specific department, or if the information system is about the customers, then it should be provided to the only this much part of the hierarchy, or to the all the stakeholders, or to the other peoples who want to invest. Or okay, so it's like we are specifying the depth at which we want the information system to operate, because again, the more depth it is, the more features it is providing, the more the cost is, and the more the maintenance goes. Okay, and if the information system is available, whether it is available offline to the people, or whether it is available at the remote connection, or how is it available, and how reliable the internet is with the existing employees, because finally it is employees who are going to make use of that information system. Okay, so here we overall decide what is the level of capabilities that is required with respect to the information system. Next we have how fast and accurate should the service be. Okay, so here two things. One thing is, if suppose the information system is very much information is very much required, and it is very urgently in some scenario. Okay, so in that case we want it to perform very accurately, and we need to get the data as soon as possible. but there is some situation where we don't want the information very sooner, and we get, if in that case where the information need not to be flooded at the same point of time, if in that case if huge amount of information is getting flooded to the manager in taking any kind of decisions or any other processes, so that is an unwanted thing. Okay, so that will not only affect the manager negatively, but even in the performance, in the decision making, it will negatively affect everything. So there is like even the interest will be gone if huge amount of data is coming to me for any decision making. Okay, and that is one thing of deciding which kind of functionality should be considered for providing fast and accurate data, and which kind of information where it is okay. So here we can see two factors, fast and accurate. So here we can see four situations are coming from the picture. So it should be fast, and the second is it should not be fast. The third is the accurate data is needed, and one is where accurate data might be needed, or even if the data is not accurate it is okay, but I want the data. So there are different permutations and combinations coming out of the fast and accurate. So for example, I need any details about the competitors, okay, any rumor about the competitors that is going on in the market. So even if that is not accurate, but I want to get it quickly. Okay, so that is one thing. And there are some situation where if the decision is not taken quickly, there is going to be huge customer impact or a production impact. So in that case I want the data to be coming immediately. Okay, so based on the situation, the nature of the process, again these parameters are taken into consideration. Next, what security levels are required. So here if we see, if we like have a huge amount of security, then the ease or comfortable with which employees are working will get affected. And the second thing, if there is no security at all, then of course there is too much external and internal threats, like even the internal employees can do the data theft, and even the external people are trying to attack or get access to the current resources. So we need to, at the end we need to make sure that the security to the critical resources should be there at the high cost, even if the employees is comfortable or not. But with the remaining things we need to make sure the security levels are such that even we are having certain level of satisfaction, and even the employees are comfortable in working with that level of security environment. So here even the I can say the extreme situation needs to be considered, and along with that the comfortability of the employees need to be taken care. So these are the things which as a manager it is very important. Okay, now what is the function should be there on cloud. Okay, so here we see that if there is any tools or software that we use in general, like Confluence or any SharePoint, so those kind of things which helps us in coordinating or correlating our work with the other members, like Bitbucket, GitHub, where we share the code and all. Okay, so the manager need to make sure that what are all the application that needs to be shifted on the cloud, and what are all the application that needed to be there on the local systems, like within the premises of the organization. So one example I can take is, suppose they have taken a cloud platform which is very secure, okay, which is very good, excellent, even the internet reliability, availability, all the features are very good, but there is one or two critical functionality which they cannot take risk at all. And so they have some other layers of security which only they are aware of, only the organization is aware of. So they don't want to have any kind of risk or any kind of uncertainty on those critical resources. They'll have those resources or those functionalities in their local system, and the remaining move to the cloud. Okay, and if some functionalities need to be taken care in the remote areas, so again there will be an internet issue. So it again depends what kind of functionalities or what kind of process need to be shifted on the cloud. So all this decision will be taken care by the manager. So these are some of the challenges which managers is facing. So all we have covered today is about the information system coming into the organization, operating in the organization, how the maintenance is happening, what are the different kinds of effects, and what is the output of that, how different factors like external environment, competitors, and other people are affecting the decision making of the organization to take what type of information system and to place it at what process, and what needs to be removed, what needs to be added. So all those things we have studied today. If you have any queries with respect to this organization information system, please write down in the comment section. And apart from any queries, if you have any suggestions, please mention that as well. And if you liked my explanation, please do subscribe, click on notification bell, and share it to as many people as possible. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you.